in Shoftim, and we are in chapter 8, and we just finished with Gidon capturing the kings. So and we're in 18, so we're on chapter 8, verse 18. And this is also after he took his revenge. This is after Gidon took his revenge on the people of Pnuel, and also on Sukkot, where he told them that since they did not want to help with the war effort and help the people out, in one place he would kill them, and the other one he would break down their tower. When he broke down the tower, they started to fight with him, and so out of self-defense he killed them. Now we come to the kings. Vayomer el Zevach ve'el Samuna, and he said to Zevach and Salmuna, Eifo ha'anashim, where are the men asher haragtim b'Tavor, that you killed in Tavor? Vayomru, and they said to him, Kamocha kamohem, like you, like them, Echa ketoar b'nei hamelech, one as the form of the children of the king. So the Metzudas David says, Kamocha kamohem, Tarich kita'aram, your appearance like their appearance, or ta'aram kita'archa, and again their appearance like yours. Okay, so fine. It's Neolcha Kings. The digest explains it like this. He said the conquered kings were brought to trial for the death of Gidon's brothers. The kings pleaded that the brothers had revolted against the Midian authority, as had Gideon, and were deserving of death. However, they had only reached this conclusion under the mistaken notion that Gidon's brothers were actually Gidon's sons. Thus, their position as his sons made them equally punishable for the rebellion. Where are the men? This follows the Targum Yonatan. Gidon wished to know their whereabouts to bury them. Rav Yosef Cairo, the author of the Shulchan Aruch, questions this interpretation, since Gidon obviously knew they were in Tavor. That's what he says. Where do you put the people in Tavor? Furthermore, the response does not seem to answer the question. However, the Radak and Sion explain. What was the appearance of the men? Gidon attempted to identify those that were not yet buried. And then he says, whom you killed at Tavor. In the course of their flight to cross the Jordan, the kings had passed Tavor. However, the Das Sofrim suggests that these men were killed before the war, as Tavor is north of the places in which the Midianites were found as the war began. As you are, so were they. The Abravanel interprets, it should be to you as it was to them. They cursed Gidon to the same fate. Notice they were telling him to drop dead. One was as the form of the children of the king. Targum Yonatan renders, one among them appeared like the children of the king. However, we can interpret, as you are, so were they, all you are possessing, one appearance, since they appeared like the children of kings. The form of the children of kings, who are handsomer than others, for they are raised luxuriously. So that's where they're coming up with the whole answer. Okay, then it says, Vayomar, and he said, Achai b'nei amihem, they were these my brothers, the sons of my mother. Chai Hashem luhachiyitem oto, as the Lord lives, if you had let them live, lo haragti etchem, I would not have killed you. And it's interesting, he's saying, lo haragti etchem, I would not have killed you. He's talking to people who are still alive. Right? So he says, he should have said, I will not. If you would have let them live, then I would let you live. Well, it's in past tense. That's my point. So it's okay. There's a Malbim who says what here. Let me just make sure I got everything. Yeah. So he says the Malbim explains when it says they were my brother, the sons of my mother. He wants to say, Einam b'ni, they're not my children. Rak achai, they are my brothers. Ve'em lo mardu, and they did not rebel. Uvechinam haragtam, and for no reason you killed them. Ve'em hechiyitem otam, if you would have let them live. Lahiti horeg etchem, I would not be killing you, but without justice. Okay, so that's how he's looking at it. You kill them, so now I have to kill you. So he said, so Gidon says to Yeter, his firstborn, Kum, get up, Harogotam, kill them. But the young boy did not take his sword out from he didn't draw his sword, because he was afraid. He was still a young boy. What was he afraid of? You have an answer? So Rashi says, Lo shalaf anar charbo. The boy did not draw the sword laharogom to kill them. Mayhem. He was afraid of them. That's one thing. The Mitzudas David says, going on the words, he's still a young boy. And for this reason, he was afraid of them. Because he did not understand that they were given over into his hand, and they couldn't stand against him. In other words, there was no way that they were going to be able to fight him. But he's still afraid because he's not sure what's going to happen. The Malbim says, he's on the part where it says, Vayomer liYeter, and he said to Yeter, his son, Ki hu goel adam. The question that the Malbim is asking is the one we should have all asked. Why is it that Gidon says to Yeter, draw your sword and kill them? Why doesn't he just kill them? Right? What's just going on, right? Why not just kill him? So Malbim explains, why is it to Yeter who goel hadam? Because Yeter was a goel hadam. He was the redeemer of the blood. That's who should have killed him by rights, not Gidon. Gidon is next. If Yeter doesn't do it, so then Gidon. But it's he has first rights, as it were. Al harigat edavi, because he killed the uncle, so in other words, his father. He killed his father. So I'm sorry, he killed his uncle. So that's why he was saying, "You're the goel adam. Do that." If he doesn't want to do it, fine. So what happens? Vayomer Zevach v'Tzalmuna. So Zevach and Tzalmuna said, Kum atav v'fagabanu. You stand up and kill us. You, Gidon, stand up and kill us. Ki ka'ish gavorato, for as a man is, so is his strength. Vayakam Gidon, and Gidon got up. Vayarog et Zevach v'Tzalmuna, and he killed Zevach and Tzalmuna. Vayikach et ha-shoharanim asher b'savrei ugmalehem. And he took the crescents that are on the necks of their camels. And so now, why are they arguing, no, you kill us? So
it seemed like they'd rather, for them, it seemed like it'd be easier if they fought the kid.
Oh, because they can't fight. That's the point. They can't fight.
They have to wait until they're attacked.
No, they're going to be executed. The kings are going to be executed. They're dead.
Oh, I see.
They're dead.
They're already prisoners at that point.
Right.
Okay.
So they're saying, you kill us.
Just get it over with.
More is an embarrassment. Boy, that's what we're going to hear. Ha-gevora tzarech leo ne'arechad ima ish poel gevora. The strong one needs to be set up, as it were, with a man who is strength. Ve'gevora zol ha-rog malki eretz yetalach. And that's given to you. So they were saying, you have to have strength to kill kings, and that's you, man. So do it, and that's all. It could be an embarrassment factor too, but it's what does he say? So he says an adult is stronger than a youth, and so they requested that Gidon strike them so they would die with one blow. Barvanel explains that their status warranted they be killed by someone prominent, such as Gidon, and not by his son. And it says, it says two sides. And he killed Zevach and Tzalmuna in commemoration of Midian's defeat. David established a prayer, Psalm 83, that the Holy One should always hearken to the distress calls of Israel and save them. The crescents of gold, the Abaradel maintains that this was used as armor to protect the bearer from arrows. It's a special type of armor they had. I don't know. Okay, let's go on. So Vayomru Ish Yisrael El Gidon. So the people of Israel, a man of Israel, the people of Israel said to Gidon, Mishal lanu gamata. Rule over us, also you. V'gam bincha, and also your son. V'gam benecha, and also your grandson. Ki hoshatanu miyad Midian, because you saved us from the hand of Midian. So what does it mean? So Metzudas David says, rule over us. Kiblu oto me'ava, they received Gidon from love. Limshol bahem, to rule over them. Hu bezaro, he and his seed. Ba'avor ha'teshua she'asa, because of the salvation that he did. So that's why they're saying, rule over us. Now, where is it here? Yeah, so the Malbim says, Amrulei, they said to him, Shuhu Yimshol Mitzad Sheroy Lezeh, that he should rule over them because that's what he was fit for. V'yasigu to El Mimenu, and they will accept it. Fine. V'gam Shagam Benav Yimshol Mitzad Ki Hoshatanu, and then we'll accept your sons because you saved us. So we want you to be king, basically. What happens? Gidon said to them, Lo emshal ani bachem, I will not rule over you. V'lo yimshal b'ni bachem, and my son will not rule over you. Hashem yimshal bachem, Hashem will rule over you. He doesn't want the authority. So Metzudas David continues to say, Lo emshal, lo ratz the kabel hamemshal. He didn't want to accept it. Hashem Yimshol Rosh Lemor, he wants to say, Hello me Hashem Ba'at Shua, the salvation came from Hashem. Lezeh Yimsholhu, that's why he will rule over you. Ve'elav Tishmuni, you should listen to him. Now this, you have to give Gidon a lot of credit for doing this. He wasn't just being a humble fellow. He was saying to them, you're claiming that I'm the one. You're saying, rule over me because you saved us. I didn't save you. I'm just Hashem's honor guard, as it were. God picked me, but I'm not the one that's fit to rule over you. Hashem should rule over you, and all you have to do is serve Him. And if you serve Him properly, then He'll continue to protect you. So it's not for me, it's not for my children, it's not for my grandchildren. So I think that's it's a beautiful thing that he's saying here.
How do we understand the word they're using for rule, mem, shin, lamed, as opposed to what we've learned, mem, lamed, ches?
Chaf. Right, so malach. So it's interesting. If I remember correctly, the Malbim in another place, when it comes to Yosef, so they use this two words. Will you rule over us? Will you be our king? So ruling over them, I forget which one it is exactly, but I think ruling over them is when you choose the guy, as compared to Malach, which means I am the guy. I am the guy. By force. There's one that's by force, and I think that's Melech. You have to accept me, and I can make any rulings I want. I'm the tyrannical ruler versus Mashal, or it could be the other way around. Mashal could be the tyrannical ruler, and Malach is the benevolent ruler. I'm not sure, but that's the difference. The Malbim makes that difference, or I think it's Malbim that makes the difference.
Where the people are choosing their king,
right? Which is interesting because and again you have to go back. Right, you have to go back to what the whoever I'm quoting. I think I'm 99% sure it's the Malbim who says it there, but he makes the distinction between those two names. And maybe it's a Kli Yakar. Maybe I shouldn't say 99%. But because I remember reading it and I remember giving the share over. But it's there's a difference in the term and how people accept you.
Yeah.
So if it's whatever it is, and it was interesting by the way, if it says if over there that rule that concept of ruling would be that tyrannical ruling, it's meaning that they're accepting them upon themselves that tyrannical rule, as compared to the rule that we can, dismiss you after a while, because you saved us, so we're willing to go for that. You run the system, leave us alone. But that's really there is a difference between the word mashal and malach, that concept.
Okay.
So yeah. Okay. Remind me. We have to go back to the truth. Just remind me after class or by Shabbos, whatever, and I'll look up. It's right there where the brothers say to him, are you going to rule over us or are you going to be our king? Right there. It's maybe the Ramban. I don't know. It must be on the. It can't be the Malbim. It must be when the brothers are talking to.
And he identifies
Yosef, and he says, he gives the dream. They're going to bow down to me.
Dream.
They're going to bow down to me and the whole thing. And they say, what, you're going to rule over us? Okay. Are you going to be our king?
So and commentary there.
The commentaries go crazy on that. They say, whoa, why do they use two different languages? So that's when, again, one is, I'll make it better. Now I'll make it better. Nachmanides who says this. So I'm thinking it has to be on the page. And the Malbim isn't on the page in my book. So it has to be on the page. So it's probably the Ramban who says it. Okay. Somebody like that. Okay. So I take away my 99%, I cut it down to 20% Malbim at this point. Okay. But if you look to it, you'll see it. And maybe even ArtScroll brings it down. It could be ArtScroll that even brings it down. Okay. Because they're all here saying that it's accepting from love. Now here he says, rule over us. Gidon, seemingly cruel and harsh justice, only strengthened his position and honor as the people realized that he had acted justly. Israel recognized Gidon's true worth, since he had been chosen by Hashem to save Israel through although they were spiritually deficient. The miraculous victory and destruction of their enemies, kings and leaders had shown that Gidon's veritably merited to dominate. Both you and your son, although the leadership was not hereditary. Out of gratitude, they wanted to pass on to Gidon's children. Even if they were not worthy, they had planned that it would pass on to Yetzer, the firstborn, and not to the other sons. Okay, so here it's interesting that the way the saying is, again, a king is hereditary, and a ruler is not, according to this. So that could be another concept, which could be what I was saying is tyrannical despot.
They chose their own ruler. Yeah. Okay. So
it could be a president. But they want to, it's like George Washington, be our king. He says, no, I don't want that.
Yeah. They offered him the title of king.
Right. He says, no thanks. He wasn't stupid. It's like when people say, be our chief rabbi. No, it's all right. Thanks so much. You know what the chief rabbi means, right? Huh? You know what the chief rabbi means. He gets to make a decision whether or not he can take the garbage out. That's about it.
He has no job description.
He has none. Even in my own house, a chief rabbi. But it's okay.
The president of Israel. What does he do? He's like the president of Israel, like the king or queen of England in modern times, right?
There's no power. Right. I'm not even sure why they have the president in Israel. I'm not sure what the honorary role means. Okay, so V'yomer Alehem, V'yomer Alehem, Gidon. So Gidon said to them, excuse me, I will ask you one question, or I'll ask you a request. Okay, Utnuli ish. Ish nezem shlalo, and each man should give me a nose ring from his spoil. Ki nizmei zahav lahem, because they were golden rings. Ki yishme'elim hem, because the people they got were Yishme'elim. It was interesting, because who did we fight? We fought the Midianites, right? But the spoils is coming from the Yishme'elim. So how does all that work? That's the question that should be being thrown up. So the Radak says, Kishmaelim hem, Midyanim hem Yishmaelim. The Midianites were Ishmaelites.
Oh.
Why? Kihem b'nei Keturah hem. Because they were the children of Keturah. For Keturah, who is Keturah? He Hagar. She is Hagar. And so if they're all related, in other words. V'chei b'mechirat Yosef. Also, when we see in the sale of Yosef, even Kurut Yosef, Ishmaelim, it says that Yosef was sold to Ishmaelim, v'achar again, Amar Hamadinim, Machru Oto El B'Shraim. Then it says afterwards that the Midianim sold him to Mitzrayim. So what we're seeing is it's interchangeable in the Torah. That Midian and Ishmaelim seem to be interchangeable. Therefore, the Radak says that they are the same group. Okay? And then Mitzudas David says, Ish Nezem Shlaloki, Ish Yitain. Okay, everybody should give the nose ring from his plunder. Kishma Elimhem. And he again says, Ki Midian Hayab B'nei Keturah. Because Midian was from B'nei Keturah, same thing as we just heard from the Radak. And Shehi Hagar, Im Yishmael, Vehema Achim, they were his brothers. B'Shem Echad Yikru, and they were called by one name. V'derech Echad Lem, and there was one way for them. Lahasim Nezem Baf, and they all apparently wore nose rings. Why they wore nose rings, God only knows. That was men and women. Well, the only men in the war.
When I talk about nose ring, is that through the bridge of the nose, or just on one side or the other of the nostril? You know.
Yeah, you're asking a shot I can't answer.
They don't say. I mean.
If they were married, the nose ring was right here, so the wife could pull her. There you go.
Nothing disappears forever.
Right. Right.
It's so it's a little funny, but you see so many people in public today that have gone back to these ancient.
Yes. So I would guess that they didn't have. I would guess that would be the nose ring that goes through the
bridge.
Yeah, I would guess that's what they were doing.
Was that considered paganistic, or was that just a decoration back in those days?
Oh no, those days was like today.
Jewelry.
Jewelry.
Interesting.
Probably that was seen as a manly thing. I mean, I think it looks freakish, but
yeah.
It's only because I'm brought up in a different time.
It hadn't been done in several millennia for the most part, right? Until all of a sudden people got to start imitating and go nuts, you know. With
again, I think that what we're seeing now is a reversion back. People. One woman once explained to me that with all the body piercing and everything else, and I liked her explanation. I've quoted it a couple of times. Is people need to feel something because we're so bereft of everything. We're not spiritual for the most part. People in general are not spiritual. They're always in a search mode for something that's more than just what they have, because nobody's happy with what they have. And again, I keep going back to that. We are the poorest person in America is living like a king in the old days.
Yeah.
The poorest person.
Yeah.
And I know that they won't believe me, but if you think about what they had, we have indoor plumbing, we have all these things, we have food stamps, so it gets everybody what they want. It's the poorest person that can have cable TV.
Obama phone.
No, I'm just saying, it's crazy.
Has 2 or 3 TVs, couple cars.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. All these things that we have, so we're no longer, quote unquote, poor like they were.
Now, you may not have private servants and a huge mansion,
okay.
but you got all these.
And I'll even go further. Not all of us are driving brand new cars every couple of years.
Yeah.
Fine. But even those who are driving cars every couple of years, or I have 31 cars in their garage, they're still looking for something. Again, I always go back to the same people. You have Madonna. You have that whole star power. You have John Travolta, who went to Scientology. You have the other Michigan who went to Scientology. What's his from Mission Impossible?
Yeah.
They're all looking for something. And the question is, why are you looking? You are at the top of the game. You have what everybody wants. Will Chamberlain had all the girls, 1,000 girls, And he was still looking for something. What are you looking for? You have the girls who marry, you have the guys who marry drop dead beautiful women. What we would think is, I would love to have her. Oh my God. And you're looking and he's cheating on her.
He's having affairs.
He's having affairs and he's saying, are you insane? You're not doing it because she's ugly. She's in best shape that you could ever imagine. She's working out, doing everything. Okay, maybe he has no personality. I don't know. I'm not there. But it's just amazing that all these people keep needing some other thing. So I think that's what this is all about. When people, and that's why I liked what she said, when people are getting piercing and tattoos, and it's pain. You're going through pain to get these things.
Yeah.
I mean, you may be drunk when you get a tattoo. I don't know. Maybe you're drunk when you're getting the earrings too. But the point is that it's seen as a vaunt into manliness, or for women,
The women,
women too. But you see that they have all the
on the multiple rings.
all through. Was it studs? And over here too, they're having it now. And then the tongue. It's like, what are you doing to yourselves? Why do you need to do this? How do you talk after all?
Yeah,
But
there was. I remember,
Notice me.
right. Or the spiked haircuts.
20 years ago, one of my customer locations, I was working on some equipment, and a young woman that I was interfacing with there had a ring in the tongue, and it made her talk with a lisp.
Right.
Would you do that to
No, but so I'm saying here, I think the same thing as I think they were wearing it, and I think there was something as besides style. It could have just been your vaunt into manhood. I'm not sure, but it's something that they were known for, and that's why he says to do it. The interesting thing again is that just to be fair to the commentaries, it's if you go back to Chumash, where it says that he was first sold to Yishmaelim, and then the Medinim sold him to Potiphar. It says he was sold 4 times and went through 4 different sales. So the Yishmaelim were one group, Medinim were the second group, Potiphar was the third, and then you have one more, I forget who the fourth one was. But that Rashi is seeing them all as 4 distinguished, as 4 separate parts. What the Radak and Masudas David are saying here is they're all part of the same family, and they all have the same style. So that's something else. And they were saying the names are interchangeable, Midyanim and Yishmaelim. We'll have to stop here. Okay. So again, no class until August 4th, I think.